Some of you may wonder how it is we made it through with Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. Well, we did it in part because of pro-gun Democrats like our next speaker. He said no to gun control and yes to freedom. He also voted against health care, he voted against cap and trade, and voted against Nancy Pelosi for Speaker. Please welcome our good friend, Congressman Jason Altmire.
Welcome to Pittsburgh. We're glad to have you here and truly grateful that the NRA has chosen Pittsburgh as home to its 2011 National Convention. And as I'm sure you know, if you draw a 300-mile radius circle from where you are right now, you pick up more NRA members, both in real numbers and per capita, than anywhere else in the country. And here in Western Pennsylvania, we have a proud sporting tradition and a true appreciation for the outdoors. So please accept my most sincere welcome as you spend a few days with us. I hope you'll take the time to look around, hopefully spend a little money, but most important, enjoy the camaraderie of your fellow sportsmen and join all of us in celebrating our Second Amendment constitutionally guaranteed rights. Tens of thousands of sportsmen and gun owners who are here this weekend are here not only to celebrate the Second Amendment, but to talk about what we in Congress can do to protect it. It's an understatement to say that the past 4 years have been a politically difficult landscape for the NRA, with many of our national leaders on the wrong side of just about every Second Amendment issue. But despite being forced to play defense on a playing field that's never been more tilted, the NRA still had a number of major successes over the past 4 years. Some of those victories occurred in the judicial system. I've been proud to sign a friend of the court brief in 2 historic Supreme Court guns cases. In the case of Washington, D.C. versus Heller, I joined more than 200 of my House colleagues in signing a brief for the constitutionally founded and ultimately victorious majority opinion, which finally overturned the long-standing gun control and gun ban law in Washington, D.C. And many of us signed a similar brief advocating for Second Amendment rights in the case of McDonald versus the City of Chicago. That case was also decided correctly, and historic precedents were set in both Supreme Court cases. These were enormous victories for gun owners across America, establishing clarity for generations to come of our constitutionally protected, fundamental, individual right to bear arms. Now, Congress has also introduced and passed several important reforms in recent years. We passed into law the right to carry in America's national parks and opened up millions of additional acres of public lands to hunting, fishing, trapping, and the shooting sports. These are only a few of our accomplishments, and their impact has been significant for sportsmen and gun owners nationwide. What an amazing record of success in such an adversarial legislative environment. And none of that would have happened without the NRA, which means none of that would have happened without you, because you are the NRA. Make no mistake, the reason the NRA is one of the most powerful advocacy organizations in America is because of the people in this room, because of you. You are the ones who contact your elected officials, who hold them accountable for their votes, who mobilize others in support of the cause. You are the reason we've been so successful in stopping the ongoing threat of bad gun legislation, and we're even able to take a few steps forward in the past 4 years. But now, with even more strength on Capitol Hill, it's time to turn our attention to some long overdue reforms to further strengthen gun protections for law-abiding gun owners. That's why I joined my friend Congressman Steve King of Iowa in introducing legislation to modernize the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Now, we all know the track record of the BATFE. especially its recent history of inexplicably bad decisions. Our legislation, the BATFE Reform Act, will safeguard American citizens' Second Amendment rights by bringing common sense reforms to the Bureau so that it can do its job without placing undue restrictions on law-abiding businesses and gun owners. Our bill would make sure that federally licensed firearms dealers are not subject to poorly formulated and unnecessary regulations by updating the rules for those who hold a federal firearms license. Our goal is to create a fair system under which firearms dealers with minor paperwork errors are no longer threatened with the loss of their livelihoods. Our bill would prevent the Bureau from revoking federal firearms licenses for minor technical violations, such as improperly using abbreviations or filing paperwork in the wrong order. But equally important, our bill would finally and permanently ban the creation of a centralized electronic index of dealers' records to protect gun owners' privacy and ensure that law-abiding gun owners will no longer unknowingly wind up in a federal gun registration database. Congress has, in previous years, taken the extra step of including language similar to this in its annual appropriations bills. But now it's time we finally give gun owners the long overdue certainty and make this policy law once and for all. Over the next few days, you'll hear about other federal legislative initiatives that the Congress is working on to protect the rights of sportsmen and gun owners across America. And as a proud supporter of the NRA, a proud member of the NRA, and a Democratic congressman who's proud to have a 100% career voting record with the NRA, I look forward to continuing to work with you as we together continue to fight to secure and strengthen one of America's most fundamental rights, the individual right to bear arms. Thank you for the work that you do and the support that you give us. Have a great time in Pittsburgh and enjoy the rest of the convention.